Cue the music. I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Oh, I never thought the leopards would eat my face. But they are!
And congratulations, GOP, for empowering these people. Welcome to Racist of the Week. My name is Reese Waters. This is where we expose the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the page, and definitely leave me any possible suggestions for nominees in the comments. You can email me at reese@reesewaters.com. Today's nominee, she's got a trunk full of them, Laura Loomer. All right, run the clip.
Conspiracy peddlers, we should note, a veritable legion of doom of bigots and liars, perhaps none so depraved as this woman, Laura Loomer. Here she is getting off of Trump's plane before yesterday's debate. Just on Sunday, she posted an insanely racist message that if Harris, whose mom was an Indian immigrant, wins, quote, the White House will smell like curry and White House speeches will be facilitated via a call center, unquote. On this 23rd anniversary of 9/11, we should also note Loomer posted last year that 9/11 was a, quote, inside job, unquote. Trump continues to bring this person along on his travels with him. Why? I don't know.
If Kamala Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry and the White House speeches will be facilitated via a call center, and the American people will only be able to convey their feedback through a customer satisfaction survey at the end of the call that nobody will understand. Now, I'll be completely honest. This is pretty light work from Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer, she is somebody whose internet work is personally responsible for reconnecting families. You open up social media and you scroll to a Laura Loomer post and you close it down, put your phone in the drawer, and hug your family and thank the Lord that they aren't Laura Loomer. Well, somebody decided that they wanted to weigh in response to Laura Loomer's tweet. This comes from Marjorie Taylor Greene herself, who says, "This is appalling and extremely racist. It does not represent who we are as Republicans or MAGA. This does not represent President Trump. This type of behavior shouldn't be tolerated ever. Laura Loomer should take this down." Now, a couple things about this post from Marjorie Taylor Greene. She actually hits on something that I've mentioned here previously, which is she said that this doesn't represent President Trump. And what I have asserted is that as long as she continues to get all of these invites, to the debate, as long as they're parading her around and giving her props from the podium, this absolutely represents President Trump. And it is something that the Democrats should highlight every single chance that they get. Oh, that's your girl? Well, this must be you then, huh? That's your girl? Well, this must be you then, huh? That's your girl? Well, this must be you then, huh? Now, we've seen this kind of MAGA on MAGA crime before. I just did a whole video about Nick Fuentes commenting on Trump's admission that he lost the 2020 election.
2020 comment, it's like, wow, that's how pathetic it's gotten. He's admitting, he says, oh, I lost by a whisker. So what was the point? Like, what's the point of any of it? You lost in 2020? Seriously? I mean, what are we even doing anymore? Then you're a loser. Then you're a loser. You just lost. then you lost to Joe Biden. You deserve to be charged. If he admits that he lost, then that actually vindicates the DOJ charge against him. Because the charge is that he knew he lost, but he lied to defraud the people. That's the DOJ's charge. So why did we do Stop the Steal? Why did anyone go to January 6th? Why is anyone sitting in jail? Why did anything bad happen to anybody? Why did everyone get censored? Why is everything bad that has happened to the people that are involved, why did that need to happen if you're just going to walk it all back and say, oh, I lost? Well, it would have been good to know that.
There's been Ann Coulter on Trump.
Yeah,
well, he's always known how to be a celebrity, right? Like that reminded me of the reality TV show aspect of Trump, right? He knew.
I think you're giving him more. I don't even think it's knowing how to be. I think he's a narcissistic. The one thing I didn't know when I wrote In Trump We Trust is how profoundly stupid he is.
There's been Ann Coulter on Vivek.
Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian.
There was Marjorie Taylor Greene versus Mike Johnson.
Not Marjorie Taylor Greene holding Speaker Mike Johnson accountable and saying that we need new leadership, everyone. We need a Speaker of the House that actually acts like a Republican. We need a Speaker of the House that doesn't fund the open border invasion. We need a Speaker of the House that doesn't fund full-term abortion clinics. We need a Speaker of the House that doesn't fund the trans agenda on children in our country. These are not extreme statements that I'm making. These are statements that the American people agree with. And any Republican member of the House that is attacking me and defending Mike Johnson right now is finding out at home from their constituents they're wrong and they're on the wrong team.
There was Kevin McCarthy versus Matt Gaetz.
Speaking. What night are you speaking? Are you speaking tonight? Or one person? No. Hey, you're not. If you took that stage, you would get booed off of it. You would get booed off the stage.
But what you're seeing here, a more united Republican Party. Think back 8 years ago. Ted Cruz wouldn't endorse. Senator Lee was saying no to President Trump. Now you've got Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis. You're watching a united party like we haven't been in the past. One who's not coming back, and then the other part that you have, and the other part you have is one person who raised the issue. He's got an ethics complaint about sleeping with a 17-year-old. So that's the way they would go. So that's the biggest challenge we have.
There was Makeup versus Matt Gaetz. There was Decency versus Matt Gaetz. There was Everybody versus Lauren Boebert.
I want all of the news to start asking the question, what is the crime?
There was Marjorie Taylor Greene versus Everybody.
Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. This is the uniparty for the American people watching.
Gentlelady will suspend.
There was Lauren Boebert versus Decency. And of course, who could forget the battle between Rudy Giuliani and his shape-ups?
Cue the music. I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Oh, I never thought the leopards would eat my face. But they are!
Now, I didn't think that Laura Loomer was going to be the kind of person to take this lying down, and even the thought of that is disturbing and makes me want to get off the internet. Hopefully she lies down as little as possible. This was her first response to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Once again, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is extremely jealous and vindictive over the fact that she wasn't successful in turning Donald Trump against me, is now behaving like a leftist and accusing me of being racist. Kamala Harris is on video calling herself Indian and saying she cooks with curry. She also refuses to speak to the media, so there's a strong likelihood she would set up a call center to avoid speaking to the press and being honest with the American people. Hey MTG, speaking of racism, one of your former staffers told me you have a favorite word that starts with N. What if the staffer has a video? It's rather ironic that MTG wants to call me a racist when MTG is a full-blown anti-Semite who believes that Jewish people use space lasers to control the world. Along with being an anti-Semite, Marjorie Taylor Greene is also a poor excuse for a Christian. Her marriage failed because she couldn't keep her legs closed while she was a new member of Congress and was too busy screwing some guy from her CrossFit. She's not representative of the GOP or what it means to be America first. Nobody talks about her anymore because she's annoying and irrelevant and a sellout. Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, how come you weren't at the debate? Guess you gave up on Trump when he gave up on your boyfriend, Speaker McCarthy. Don't talk about representing Donald Trump when you paid for the Yay 2024 domain and used your campaign funds to orchestrate the dinner between Nick Fuentes and Kanye West. I exposed you months ago, and I'll do it again, you trailer trash harpy. Ooh, that was a whole lot. That was a whole. I felt like that was in drafts already. I felt like she knew that something was coming, and she just needed to press in on that particular one. Now, I'm not going to sit here and dispute that Marjorie Taylor Greene's favorite word starts with N, or that she thinks that Jewish people use space lasers to control the world. I'm not going to dispute any of that, and I certainly won't dispute any of the CrossFit allegations. But I will 1,000% dispute that she doesn't represent the GOP. Oh, you mean the woman who's one of their top 5 fundraisers on Capitol Hill? You mean to tell me she don't represent the GOP? So Marjorie Taylor Greene's behavior is so out of bounds with your tweets, right? So, right? You are so offensive and racist. Oh, but here's what I have to say. Oh, she's absolutely representative of Trump and the GOP. Thank you so much for coming. Now, in thinking that Laura Loomer would be done, I just asserted that she was a normal person who would happen to be busy and wouldn't have time to go on oh no, there's more. It's really funny how Marjorie Taylor Greene, a raging anti-Semite who said Jews use space lasers to control the world, wants to pretend like I'm a racist because I made a funny joke about Kamala Harris making cooking videos and buying curry spice at an anti-Trump spice shop, and I mocked how she uses her Indian mom as a way to dodge questions. I will say, as a person that has dabbled in comedy before, 6 out of 10. I won't just say it was funny, but 6 out of 10 is not terrible. I won't be apologizing for having a sense of humor. I also believe in free speech, Marjorie Taylor Greene, which you clearly don't support. I get it. You're jealous of me because despite your planted hit pieces about me in the New York Times, I won. Get over it. Now I see why she gets along with Trump so well, because Trump at the debate actually bragged about how he fires people, completely ignoring the fact that he hired said people. Like, you get credit for firing people after you've hired badly. Here you have her taking credit for surviving hit pieces. Most people don't have to survive hit pieces. But tweet on, Laura Loomer. Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, remember when you destroyed your family so you could have sex with a Zangief cosplayer? Now that's funny. That's what you should have just went with it off the top. I don't know why you had to bring Kamala Harris into it. There's your A material. Why are you burying your A material in the third tweet? That was good work. Remember when you destroyed your family so you could have sex with a Zangief cosplayer? Who's writing her stuff? Tell me again how you and the Arby's in your pants are representatives of the GOP. What am I supposed to do with that? Huh? What am I supposed to do with that? Huh? Why do I have to pick a side here? You know what? Why? I don't want to give her. You know what? I'm a man of integrity. Arby's didn't deserve that, huh? Arby's just wants to make healthy roast beef sandwiches. They just want to make affordable, healthy meals, and they have to get brought into this. You know, think of the innocent Americans that are suffering because of the image that you just put in people's heads. Free Arby's. That's my walk away. It's free Arby's. She continues, you couldn't even run your own family. Don't tell me how to run my free speech. Now here, actually, Laura Loomer hits on something that I have asserted. The party of family values, led by Trump, who you worship. So you want to attack Marjorie Taylor Greene for not being able to run her own family, but then run behind Trump, who's on marriage number 3, who has cheated on all 3 of his wives. That's what we're doing. And don't get to talking about families, because we know that ain't a united front. The contradictions are so wild. This is, you know, I'm going to leave here worse. I'm going to leave here worse, just by osmosis, just for being around this level of insanity. Now, in response to a user saying Marjorie Taylor Greene has never been MAGA, she just used the movement for her own personal advancement, please continue taking her down until her career is over, Loomer responds, I hope anyone is successful in removing Marjorie Taylor Greene from office, Republican or Democrat. DM me for free Oppo on Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'll give it to any of her opponents for free. Now, here's where we need to stop down. In that video about Carl Baxter, right? That was the black man who was canvassing in Florida, the very pro-Trump MAGA, who decided he was going to oppose the group that had hired him because they apparently called him a slave. But he also asserted that he was offered money in order to provide dirt on one of the other women in the organization. And he said no, because she was a Trump supporter. To which I said, so it's not actually about, is she a person of trust? Is she somebody that should have this position? It's just about who you support. Like, you're okay with whatever behavior based on who you support. So you're standing on nothing, and you're admitting that you're standing on nothing. In this particular instance, Laura Loomer has said that she was willing to offer Oppo research to anybody who takes her out, Republican or Democrat. What part of the GOP game is that? I need to know what. I love it. I'm just wondering how you're able to continue to take steps forward and feel like you're doing work as a Republican activist when you're willing to offer Oppo research to Marjorie Taylor Greene because you had a fight on Twitter. That is their level of integrity. Now at this, no, she's not done. There's more? J6 prisoners are suffering in jail because of Marjorie Taylor Greene's lies. She raised money off of her empty promise to free J6ers. She got rich in Congress trading stocks and let the J6ers rot. You can't trust her. Now she's attacking me and Donald Trump. Oh no, she's not attacking Donald Trump. She's attacking you. Thanks for the stocks though. Thanks for the stock tip. That, I'm sure that will be useful Oppo research. Now, it's at this point that Laura Loomer decided to go with video. And you know, once they start going into the phone archives, you know it's deep. Then posted, Marjorie Taylor Greene is two-faced. She used to call me, begging me to write her one-liners that she could read in Congress about Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. And now she's acting like a lefty, calling me racist over a funny joke. You mean one-liners like the Arby's thing? Is that what you're talking about? And the Zangief joke? Okay. That seemed to be her brand of humor. I see why she would ask that. This is a woman who has no convictions. Like a hooker, she sells herself to the highest bidder. Her highest bidder, in her case, was Speaker McCarthy. Now she's irrelevant and she's lashing out because she's jealous. Why is Marjorie Taylor Greene working with Democrats to attack Trump allies 50 days out from the election? It's time for people to come to terms with the fact that this woman is not who she pretends to be. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the most miserable lying bee in Congress, and we need to inform more MAGA patriots of how treacherous this woman is. One thing that is consistent of MAGAs is their persecution complex. They're not attacking Trump allies. They're attacking you. Yeah, they're attacking you. And it's not Marjorie Taylor Greene teaming with Democrats. It is Marjorie Taylor Greene joining the human race in opposition to how you move. That is a very significant distinction. There's more? Okay. Why did Marjorie Taylor Greene team up with MSNBC and the rest of left-wing media to demonize the only journalist who's exposing the wrongdoings of Judge Merchan and his daughter? When they know they don't want to talk about families, that's the last thing that they want to talk about. That would be like the GOP bringing up military service. Oh, they did? They did? Wow. Have you noticed you never see MTG speak out about the lawfare against Trump anymore? Why did she take a month-long vacation right after Trump was shot? And why did she lie about the releasing of J6 tapes, only to say we shouldn't for the sake of protecting the security of the Capitol? Why does MTG continue to support and work with Kevin McCarthy, who's openly working to sabotage Donald Trump? Why doesn't she ever speak out about Fani Willis and voter fraud in Georgia? We know why. MTG planted a hit piece against me when I was hired by Trump in March of 2023, only to have that sabotaged when MTG worked with Maggie Haberman to plan a hit piece against me, and now she's doing it again because she wants to sabotage Trump because she wasn't picked as VP. First of all, I don't know that Marjorie Taylor Greene was ever seriously considered for VP. But if we're taking shots and throwing strays at Maggie Haberman, I support it. I got a whole video coming out about Maggie Haberman. Look out for that. Why would you, as a sitting member of Congress, work with MSNBC to try and sabotage one of President Trump's most vocal allies, who's doing all of the heavy lifting as it relates to research to expose his enemies? Now, here is where you see the persecution complex in 4K. So anything that I do, if I get any criticism, all of a sudden you're sabotaging one of President Trump's most vocal allies. So pretty much I am invulnerable no matter what I say and no matter what I do. No matter how racist, sexist, vile and disgusting my behavior, any opposition is sabotaging one of President Trump's most vocal allies. Got it. I got it. MTG is hoping Donald Trump loses. She's a very jealous woman who's now working with MSNBC to attack his greatest ally. She must be condemned by all of MAGA. Again, by MSNBC, she means the human race. Fight back, Marjorie Taylor Greene!
I have concerns about her rhetoric and her hateful tone. To me, many of the comments that she makes and how she attacks Republicans like me, many other Republicans that are strong supporters of President Trump, I think they're a huge problem. And that doesn't represent MAGA as a whole. It doesn't represent who we are as Republicans. And, you know, I typically try to ignore her post, but someone had sent me that post about Kamala Harris, and it bothered me so much. And you know my personality, everyone knows I'm outspoken, and I just felt like it was time to call it out. I think it's wrong. We're not a party of identity politics. We're a party for all Americans. And I think that's so important. And I think that we need to be focused on our policies, the inflation, the economy, and the border, and not attacking people for their race, not attacking them because they may not have children and they love their pets. And I don't want to have anything to do with that. And neither do the people, my voters at home in my district, and most people I talk to across the country. And so, yeah, I called her out last night, and I think it was important to do.
Ooh, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene got the last word. No. While you were busy having sexual affairs, cheating on your husband and getting divorced, and propping up Speaker McCarthy and engaging in insider trading in Congress, MTG, I broke many of the stories regarding the weaponized lawfare against President Trump. I traveled to the Darien Gap to expose the invasion firsthand and captured illegal aliens on camera who pledged to vote for Democrats. I took down Ron DeSantis. Okay, so you got other MAGA heads on your wall. All right, fair enough. And by the way, that first paragraph, you reused all that. Yeah, you reused all. Now you biting off yourself now. I took down Ron DeSantis and defended Donald Trump for all the backstabbers who tried to defeat him in the primary. Just in case you were wondering if she's a right-wing activist or a devout conservative, no, this is a Trump sycophant who has no loyalty to anything that's not Trump. Just so we're clear. And congratulations, GOP, for empowering these people. You took a month-long vacation right after Donald Trump was almost assassinated. That's the second time she brought that up. I wonder what she's trying to insinuate. And you have lied about impeaching Biden, you lied about impeaching Mayorkas, and you lied about releasing the J6 tapes, and then said they shouldn't be released. I've done all the heavy lifting while you've been writing books and attacking Trump's closest allies in an effort to elevate yourself. You even attacked J.D. Vance in your clip below, but you don't have the courage to say his name. She probably didn't say his name because she wanted to keep the reporters around. Really, because anything, not only is he boring, he makes anything else boring. Like, you just mention his name and all of a sudden I want to walk away. Like, when I read it, I just wanted to end this video. You've been telling voters in Georgia that Donald Trump is not going to win the election, and so you think it's best to forge an alliance with Kamala Harris. Yeah, because that's a thing that's happening. Why have you declined to assist election integrity activists in Georgia who are trying to secure the election? Probably because you don't want to get arrested like those people likely will at some point if they keep moving the way they're moving. What's that, Lindsey Graham? You being reasonable? You can get some too. My, have the chickens come home to roost. Now, what we have here is the inevitable outcome when you attract the most hateful bunch possible. It's only a matter of time before it becomes a hate firing squad, okay? It's only a matter of time. And by the way, I can't believe that I've gone this far in the video without cueing the music. Hey, Laura Loomer versus Marjorie Taylor Greene, cue the music.
I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Oh, I never thought the leopards would eat my face. But they are!
Also important to keep in mind, none of this is about principles. None of this is about conservatism. None of this is about issues. This is about the ego of one man in Donald Trump and how his ego now infects his sycophants. Now it's about her ego. She can't take any level of criticism without going nuclear and characterizing it as a sabotage of Trump and his supporters. You're incapable of being racist You're incapable of being sexist. You're incapable of being Islamophobic. You're incapable of being homophobic. You are incapable of being wrong in any way without it being a sabotage of Donald Trump and his supporters. And you wonder why he moves the way that he does, why he won't in the debate admit to things that the rest of us already know are true, and in some cases wouldn't even be that problematic to admit. He just can't do it. We have had a complete movement infected by the mindset of third grade. That is what we see right here. The bully mentality, my way or the highway, I can never be wrong. Things that we typically work out by the time we get to junior high, that is operating at its highest level at the head of one of our major political parties. Also of note here, what's happening in Marjorie Taylor Greene is exactly why this kind of movement has elevated itself and permeated the Republican Party, because people don't want to be on the wrong side of the most wild, unhinged folks that have no business being in positions of power. Once they get there, people don't want to end up on the wrong side of a tweet storm, so they go along with this nonsense and don't call it out. And as much as I never want to give Marjorie Taylor Greene credit, I will give her credit for calling it out. But in calling it out, this is what happens. And all of a sudden, you get all of this litany of offenses exposed. The kinds of things that somebody in my position might say, by the way. I think it's pretty rich that she's calling Marjorie Taylor Greene a leftist, because she certainly sounded like one in her takedown of Marjorie Taylor Greene. But again, these are all things that you presumably knew before she posted her opposition to your tweet. But it was totally fine yesterday, right? Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and especially those of you that have liked and subscribed to the page. Did y'all know I had a website? I know, it's so kind of old-fashioned these days. Yes, I have a website, reeswaters.com. There you'll find my most recent work, but also my past work if you want to know a little bit more about me. You'll also find a portal where you could sign up for my newsletter. You could also sign up by sending me an email at reese@reeswaters.com. You could also send me any suggestions for ideas, something I need to take a look at, or you just want to say hello. And by the way, if you go to the website now, you'll find a little something special. That's right, we got merch. There's mugs there, there's t-shirts there, there's hats there, repping street politics, troubled waters, and of course, racists of the week. Where would we be without racists of the week? I don't know that I would have any content.